Hello, welcome. As you can see, hopefully you can tell, I just woke up. The lighting is pretty bad, but I want to tell you this dream I just had. I wrote it all down because I had to. I have very vivid dreams. They come and go. Sometimes they can last a week. But when they happen, they happen. I don't know if it matters. I think it sometimes does. Like, I know transits can affect your sleep and stuff like that. I don't know what transits happen right now. I don't even want to look anywhere because 2020 has already had just crazy transits. But I'm a Pisces moon, and my Sun and Mercury are in the first house. My Neptune is in the first house. Like, I have a lot of dreamy placements, I guess. But yes, I have had sleep issues my whole life. I can make a whole video about that some other time, but I'm just going to tell you this dream I had because it's one of the most detailed and vivid dreams I've ever had. It almost made sense. Like, it wasn't like one of those dreams, because I have a lot of dreams that are just like absolutely insane. This one almost made sense. Like, it had a flow. So just bear with me. I tweeted this morning. I think I'm going to start doing this. Just like make this a series. Get up in the morning, talk about my dreams when I have them, and maybe we can decipher together what they mean and if I should see a therapist ASAP. Okay, so so that's what I wrote. Last night, my dream, wow. So, I moved to a new city with my best friend. We got our own places in different buildings, but considered buying a coffee shop together. Instead, I ended up just getting a job there. All the ladies that worked there were really mean to me. It was kind of like a subway, and I remember I never had the right clothes for work. Basically, my first day, this man comes in, and all the ladies are kind of putting him off, but I take time with his order. I want to describe what this man looks like, because I feel like that creates the dream more visual. I will say that all the ladies I worked with were older white women, and this man was like an Asian man, but he was like a dark Asian man, possibly Indonesian. He had a long, braided ponytail and like a brown sweater on. That's all I remember about him. He could have been Native American, but I do think he was Southeast Asian, just to be really specific. Okay. So I'm helping him with his order. And I take my time with his order, to make sure I do it right. It's my first day. He wants to order a new phone plan sandwich and some spaghetti. So I'm making his sandwich, and then I put the spaghetti on the back. So I wrap it up kind of sloppily, and he's annoyed. But I don't think he's annoyed at me, but he is annoyed and making me nervous, but I'm doing my best. The ladies are also giving me the side eye as I'm trying to do my best. The customer also wants a special item, so I offer to crochet something for him to make him happy. I try making him a bag. Yeah, it's taking a minute. All the other employees end up leaving, but I didn't realize this. All of a sudden, I'm now communicating to the customer via Skype or something like that, but there's no webcam. And I don't really have any clothes on anymore. I'm not completely naked, but I have just no clothes on really, and I'm trying to cover myself as I'm communicating with him on Skype. It was so weird. So all I know is that he does like the bag I'm making. And it's kind of like a cute little bear bag with a cape. And the cape kind of covers the bag. The cape is what keeps the stuff from the bag from falling out. I have to make this bag so I can show you what it means, what I'm talking about. Customer loves it. Absolutely. Especially when I tell them I'm going to add a strap to make it a side bag. Something goes wrong though. I forgot what I did wrong. And I also crochet him a green granny square bag. Just a basic green granny square side bag. To make up for whatever mistake I made. His mood changes and I'm so sorry, but I let him know he's getting 2 bags. I asked him if he wants me to put his new bags in pink or black packaging. When I ship an order, I put it in packaging. So I'm letting him choose which one. But I can't remember the colors he picked. All I know is that when I handed him the sandwich foam plain spaghetti he ordered and his 2 crochet bags, he was back in the room with me. Not on Skype anymore. He was right there. I handed it to him. But I was also trying to cover myself because I still had barely any clothes on. He didn't seem to care at all or notice. He took the bags and left. And as I was watching him leave, this is where the dream just completely gets freaking creepy. Um, he like walked into complete darkness because like I was like the cafe I worked at was like also like a bank or something. So he like walked into like a bank lobby and like left, and I was freaking out because I don't like being the last person to leave a place. It really creeps me out, that feeling, especially if it's dark. So I tried to hurry up and gather all my stuff, and I tried to call my best friend to like, but friends are unreliable. I don't even know if I even tried to call him, but I tried to call him somehow. Um, so I grabbed my stuff and I turned to go out the door and rush home, and then I saw the customer, and he was chasing another coworker into her office, and she must have also been working late. And like he closed the door, and like she was screaming, and I was freaking out. I was like, oh my gosh! Like for some reason, I didn't just run out, and like try to go home. I like came back to my room and I sat down. And I didn't mention this when I was writing this down, but now I realize the room that I was sitting down in was a room I grew up in. It was my grandma's house. There was 9 people that lived with us, and my mom, my brother, my sister, my dad shared this one room, right? And it doesn't matter all these details, but basically I'm sitting on a futon, and I'm just like freaking out. I think I started screaming, but I can't really remember. All I know is the customer came into my room, and he started locking me in there. He started locking up the doors. These are like these big brown doors. He was locking them up. And he didn't say anything to me, and I just froze. But then I was like almost instantly relieved because I'm like, okay, we're cool. I helped him. He doesn't want to kill me. He wants to kill everybody else. So for a minute, I kind of like just sat there in the darkness because when he closed the door, like all the lights went off. And I was kind of deciding what should I do next? Like, should I wait it out? What should I do? So I considered just letting the other person die. Just like, okay, it's not killing me. I could hear her screams though, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna call 911. Because he didn't take my phone. Like I had my phone, but I still hesitated to call, because I thought that he might have a police scanner, like, and then maybe he could hear the report of them coming to where we were. And then I also was kind of paranoid that I felt like I was betraying him. Okay, issues. Okay. So then let's see. So I sat on the ground and I tried to sneak dial 911, but I could not get the numbers right. I kept dialing like 7. It was pissing me off. And as I'm on the ground, I'm like on my hands and knees because I hear something. And the door actually has this gigantic gap. Like anybody could just crawl through it. Like, underneath the door, it's like a giant gap. And he comes crawling up, and he looks at me, to kind of check in on me. He doesn't see that I have my phone, and he slides me a half-used little jar of lip gloss. It's like a fuchsia red pink lip gloss, right? And it's like in one of those little like clear containers, like that you'd get from Claire's or something. And I look at the jar, like it's half used, and I look at him, and he has like lip gloss like smeared all over his mouth. So, anyways, I open the jar and I smell it, and it smells pretty good. It has like that mica-y, like kind of flowery smell. And I tell him it smells good, and he kind of like relaxes, like kind of like we're becoming friends now. So I ask him if I could put some on myself, and he like seems chill about it. He didn't say anything, but he seems like, okay, cool, so I put some on myself. And I forgot to mention that during the time where he came back to lock me in this room, I had my attire completely changed. I had like a very 90s like shoulder length bob haircut and like a 90s businesswoman skirt set and like some chunky heels, like loafer heels. I was dressed like a banker from, a very late decade. I don't even know what era, but that's what I had on. Anyways, he leaves again, and this time I do try to nervously call 911, but I don't think I was able to because I was still too scared that he would see my text. So I basically try to get my friend to call 911 instead. I text him this text, and I'm like, hey, there's a killer here, send the police this address and delete this text message when you're done or something, or like text me a period when you call the police. And at that time I basically had woke up. So I don't know. That was my whole dream. And I was really surprised I remembered it all. Like even now, the dream is still in my mind, like a memory, like something that I've done. And I don't know, but I looked up like what it means to see a serial killer in your dream, and this is basically what it said. I didn't look up a bunch. I just looked up the first thing. But it was like to see a serial killer in your dream represents people or situations that you feel are working against you, which is a weird thing. I have psychological issues, honestly, if you can't tell by now, where I feel like the people that I care about the most have, like, are going to betray me. This is like, this is an issue I've had, like, because of like past trauma. So, there's never anybody really actually working against me though. I don't feel like if I have enemies in my personal life, they are secret enemies because I don't really talk to people and I don't go out of my way to cause harm to others for where I would have an enemy. Like even people who, if like, I don't even believe that people would ever be jealous of me, not in a real way. Like, because I feel like everything I have is attainable. So I feel like anyone that's jealous of me is just like misguided. Like they're not jealous, they're confused or something, or they have like some kind of internal issue. So I don't ever really think I have enemies. I'm always surprised to find out people don't like me because I don't talk to people for them not to like me. But I guess you could just not like me as a person or my personality. But I feel like that's just a strange thing. Okay. Anyways, so it says you may feel like a person is enjoying harming you or making you fail. You may have an enemy or competitor that is beating you and rubbing it in, and a powerful fear of embarrassing loss or failure. I get embarrassed a lot in my daily life. Like when I show affection, I get embarrassed. Like I don't know how to apply this dream to my life because of my mental issues. Stuff that isn't real seems real. Like especially when it's how people think of me. If I feel like they think negatively of me, that's like an insecurity. So I don't know like what this dream means because I looked up after that. I looked up crocheting. I dreamed. It says to dream that you knitted or crocheted with yarn means that you will have a happy marriage. Yarn in a dream indicates happiness, quietness, dignity, or glory. Making things from yarn indicates gains in the future. If the yarn is rich, this foretells unity in your family. I mean, that could be the most true, minus the marriage part. I don't know if I ever get married. But I feel like happiness, quietness, dignity, and glory is all like part of my current life and constantly coming to me. And I feel like the serial killer aspect is me kind of still rejecting that part of my life. Like, I have a very warped sense of everything currently in this time frame and throughout my life where I have a hard time receiving blessings. I kind of like create all my own problems, and not all of them, but some of them definitely, and a lot of them start up in my mind because I have a very fear-based action mind, which I'm trying to work through right now. But yeah, wow. So that was my dream. I'm gonna call my mom and tell her, see what she thinks. And thanks for listening to this. Let me know if this is interesting to you. If you want me to share other dreams, I have other dreams I wrote down from the past that I want to share, or that I have shared on Twitter, but I can read them to you. And they're not as long as detailed in this one. There's only one that has been recently. It was about a polar bear and my mom and my grandma and a car. And I remember that dream also very vividly because it was very stressful. But yeah. Good morning, and I hope you have a good day. Bye bye.